Good morning, geniuses. Brannon at Brannon Sax here with another video full of tips and suggestions to help improve your playing. If you've been following me, the first thing you'll probably notice is this new background. Hopefully you'll be seeing more of this in future videos. Secondly, you've probably noticed that I tend to use concert B-flat major scale in many of my examples. I thought I might take a moment to discuss scales, what they are, how they work, and why we need them. First, I must declare with absolute certainty that I hate scales. Learning and practicing scales is boring and tedious, and I would much rather spend my time playing something fun and making music. Does that sound like you? Unfortunately, I don't have any good advice for how to make scales fun and exciting. They're just not. However, hopefully I'll be able to explain why scales are important and give you a better understanding of how scales work. Music is a language. We use music to communicate ideas. Sometimes those ideas are definite, and sometimes our ideas are open to interpretation. Either way, music is how we tell our story, and scales are the alphabet of that language. All music is made up of scales. Western music uses a universally agreed upon chromatic system of half tones, while some Eastern musics may have their own systems and sets of rules. We'll focus on Western music in this video, but we may discuss some Eastern styles in another video. Let's start with the chromatic scale. That represents one octave divided into 12 equal halftones. An octave can also be divided into patterns to create specific sounds. You probably notice the note names follow the pattern A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. That's because most Western music divides an octave into a diatonic scale. The prefix dia comes from the Greek meaning passing through, and the root tonic means tones. So a diatonic scale passes through all tones in a single octave. Major and minor are both diatonic scales. A diatonic scale is built upon a root tone or tonic. Some people might call this the one. For my examples in this video, I'll be using the F major scale because that scale fits within a nice range of the saxophone. So the F major scale is a scale that includes 7 tones starting and ending on F. The type of scale depends on the relationship between each note or scale degree of that scale. A major scale creates the pattern of relationships that follows whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, or whole, half, whole, half. That means there are 2 half steps or a major second between the first and second notes or scale degrees of a major scale. 2 half steps or a minor second between the second and third notes, 1 half step or a minor second between the third and fourth notes, etc. We can draw that as we can then apply that system to all 12 notes to create 12 major scales. We can also create diatonic scales starting on a different note or scale degree of each scale. These are called modes. There are 7 diatonic modes. Ionian, which is major. Blue Bossa, written by Joe Henderson, uses a G major scale for the melody. Dorian, starting on the 2. Billie Jean by Michael Jackson is an example of F sharp Dorian. Phrygian starts on the 3. David Bowie's A Space Oddity contains some E Phrygian in the intro. Lydian, which is the scale starting on the 4. The theme song for the Simpsons cartoon, written by Danny Elfman, is an example of C Lydian. Mixolydian, a scale starting on the 5th scale degree. The Beatles' Norwegian Wood uses a B Mixolydian scale. Aeolian, which is also minor, most rock and roll, including Bob Dylan's All Along the Watchtower, uses Aeolian mode. Watchtower is in C sharp minor. Locrian, starting on the 7th scale degree. Locrian employs a tritone between the 1 and the 5, which makes it popular in heavy metal. Master of Puppets by Metallica uses Locrian mode. Please don't conflate modes with chords or modulations. Modes are scales. Chords are built on a scale and change within a song or piece of music. Modulations or key changes can occur between unrelated scales. Rounding out our discussion of diatonic scales, there are 3 minor scale patterns: natural, harmonic, and melodic. Aeolian mode is the same as natural or minor. When we speak of minor being relative or parallel to the major. If the minor scale is in the same key as the major scale, it is relative minor to that major scale. If the minor scale starts on the same root or tonic as the major scale, that's parallel minor. Therefore, Aeolian is the relative natural minor for the major key. Natural minor follows this pattern: whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, or whole, half, whole, half, whole. And we can diagram that like this. That means the 7th note or scale degree is lowered by a half step, which takes away the leading tone sound we get with a major scale. It almost sounds unfinished. Natural minor raises that 7th scale degree a half step, returning to the leading tone that we hear in major scales. However, that creates a step and a half between the 6th and 7th notes of the minor scale. Melodic minor raises both the 6th and the 7th scale degree on the way up and then lowers them on the way down. This creates 2 different sounds within the same scale. There are many other scales that we can discuss in future videos. Popular scales for jazz are the pentatonic scale, built on 5 notes. Penta means 5 and tonic means tone. And the blues scale, which is a pentatonic scale, plus either the tritone, which is the flat 5th, or the blue note, the flat 6th. Those both work well when improvising over chord changes. As always, if you have any questions or would like to discuss private lessons online via Zoom or Skype, please email me at the address below. If you have any suggestions for future topics of discussion, you may use that email address as well, or leave a comment below. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel to be alerted when new videos with more tips and advice are available. Stay tuned.